Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, I am going to be talking about a tier list that my good friend Scratch sent me in relation to some damage dealers in the live arena, and I'll talk about where I agree and disagree. I feel like there's a couple hot takes in there that I may disagree with, so let's go ahead and fire it up and have a conversation about some damage dealers in the live arena and how they rank. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, right out the gate, the normal tier list caveats apply, and that is these are opinions, these are for discussion and for entertainment and all that. It's really hard to scientifically lay this stuff out because things are way different based on the situation, based on empowerment levels, based on gear, based on what level of the arena you're in. There's certain champions that are way better for beginners, and then they're not really viable in the end game. So all these different things are really hard to encompass perfectly into one thing. But let's talk about in general where Scratch is ranking some of this stuff. And Scratch is an amazing player, by the way. He's always going to be higher ranked than me in the arena, so I definitely respect his opinion. In terms of viewing things from like the whole player base instead of like that top 0.1%, I do think there is maybe some things that I would rank a little bit differently, but I do really like how he put Ronda high. I like how he put Ramantu high. I'm always higher on Ramantu than I feel like most people in the community here in 2023. I feel like ever since the polymorph blessing, Ramantu has taken a nosedive, but I still think he's better than people say he is. Now, yeah, Harima and Gorgid and Taras and Rodos, I feel like that's the top four, in my opinion. I know friends of mine, like HWZ, are really high on Ronda and would probably have Ronda like up here somewhere, but all in all, this top tier is looking really good. I'm glad that he has Kiandrafon and Leorius up here ranked high. Now, Valkyrie, that's super surprising. I think, I would probably have Valkyrie somewhere here, like low A to high B, somewhere in there. And I do like how he has a Neathway up, because a Neathway is a little bit better than Classic Arena for sure up in the live arena. Blocking, revive, super important there. So a Neathway does have some use. Now, Ragash is probably a little bit higher than I would have him. Tormund, I like that. I'm always higher on Tormund than the rest of the community as well. Gurgo. So, okay, he's putting Gurgo and Ray kind of in that same tier right here because they both can do the AoE buff strip and then the freeze. They're kind of similar in how they function. So, I like how he's showing them some love. I don't know if I would have gone that high, but in general, let's talk about my biggest gripe on this, and that's probably going to be Mortu Macabre all the way down here. Now, first of all, I do understand the argument because Mortu is going to be way worse in a live fight than he is in a auto scenario where you're just facing an AI defense, because he has to get targeted, he has to get hit in order to bring value, because he has to unlock that super amazing peril skill. And if he doesn't unlock that peril skill, then honestly, he's worse than this. He's probably not even on the list. He is just trash if he doesn't have the peril skill. He does at least scale with HP on the peril skill, so he tends to be a little bit more tanky than a lot of the DPSers that are super squishy. But I do understand the argument. I would say, though, that a lot of times you're facing opponents where they have abilities that target at random, or they have AoE abilities, so they can't really avoid hitting Mortu. And since he can be built in Stone Skin and HP and pretty tanky, sometimes there isn't really much of a choice to at least proc his AoE effect to get the peril unlocked. So since he does have a fearful role in the game, I'm not on board with putting him way down here. I would probably at least put him like up in high D or low C. I think he deserves at least that much, and he's a lot better in the lower ranks and the mid ranks than he is up at the higher tiers, for sure, where they know exactly how to play around him and how to counter him and all of that. So maybe up where Scratch is playing, I will give him the benefit of the doubt that Mortu is probably pretty underwhelming. But in general, of like the whole player base and all of that, maybe he's ranking this for like just the like platinum tier, gold 4 tag team arena type players. But for the player base in general, I would definitely move Mortu up like 20, 25 spots. Then for maybe a couple that are a bit too low, I would say maybe Tervald. Honestly, I would have Tervald up probably above Ragash, and same with like maybe Hafrak. It's pretty good. I think Magnar might be like Magnar's way better than Skull Crown, I think. So I'd probably slide Magnar over a little bit. Clayopteryx, look at that down here in the C tier. Okay, very nice. I like it. All in all, yeah, I mean, Phoenix is somebody that definitely gets slept on and is better. One of the better epic DPSers for the live arena for sure. But yeah, all in all, a pretty solid list. And I like Gala being up there. Oh, look at that, Alika. A lot of people sleep on Alika. She can really be a damage dealer. How about Trunda? Trunda completely falling off the board. Trunda used to be like up here, and Trunda is one of those champions that's had like the worst 2023. Just keeps sliding down, kind of like Hegemon, just keeps sliding on the board every single tier list that comes out, and as the game kind of evolves, one of those DPSers that is slipping through the cracks a little bit. And then I think this top row of C is really interesting. You've got Errol really sliding up the board recently. You've got the new Void Lego for the Sylvan Watchers. And then you've got these 4 right here. Well, maybe 5 actually with Mashaled. You've got these 5 right here that are like, they are either a super new champion like Supreme Elhain, who people are finding ways to get value out of them, or they're like legacy old school champions who are starting to find a little bit of value again because of like Krutraxa. Even if she gets locked out, her A1 can do insane amounts of damage. Foley can block revive. Mashaled can do CC while also hitting decently hard. Little Miss Annie has one of the hardest hitting abilities in the game. Her play date ability can basically nuke anything down. So I really love Scratch's top tier here of the C tier. I think that's fairly accurate. Fushan, huh? I'm going to have to take a look at Fushan. Fushan is not one I would have thought of for the live arena, especially above Mortu Macabre. But yeah, I mean, I'll have to take a look at that for sure. Dark Elaine, okay. Brackus, I've heard a lot of rumblings about Brackus kind of getting a little bit of a revive to his how often he's being used because of the live arena. So I like that pick. Ruel, really cool to see that. Okay. Royal Huntsman, even Karato making and Nethril, that's old school. Nethril making an appearance here on Scratch's list. So okay, all in all, I also love how he gave a little bit of a shout to Yannicka as well. Pretty underrated damage dealer. So all in all, I like 95% of this. This is very well done. Scratch, very knowledgeable about the arena, like I said before. So he's always going to do a good job on something like this. I would like to discuss with him in terms of the whole player base about Mortu Macabre's probably the one that I disagree with the most. Like if I'm facing somebody and they've got like a Royal Huntsman or a Mortu Macabre, there's just no universe that I would be more likely to ban the Royal Huntsman as opposed to the Mortu Macabre. I feel like Mortu Macabre is going to be a champion that gets banned a lot because people just don't want to have to deal with proccing that peril and then getting screwed over by a champion just getting completely obliterated and you can't revive them or anything. So I feel like a little bit too low. I could understand like high D tier, like somewhere up in here, but it'd be fun to touch base with Scratch and see exactly what his point is and why he would rank him so low, or if he was doing this in the context of like just that like top 0.1% of players or something. So I'll definitely see if we can bring Scratch here for a collab on the channel, and we'll do all sorts of more fun tier list projects like this. So that'll do it for this discussion on Scratch's damage dealer tier list for the live arena. As always, let us know down below where you agree and disagree, and we'll see if we can bring him on the channel here to talk about some of these rankings, and I'm sure we'll get them on the website, and we'll get all sorts of tier lists and articles and stuff laid out, talking with a lot of different perspectives and people from all different ranking tiers, people at the absolute highest tier, people in the upper mid tier, the mid tier, and more of like a beginner perspective and all of that. We'll get it all covered for you here on the channel. So remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content, and I will also link to Scratch's channel down below. Definitely worth checking out his stuff. Obviously, he's one of the titans in the Raid community, cranking out really good content. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.